Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and for children with bad parents. Adult language will be used, and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. In today's episode, we get to start breaking down the classes. We will not be doing this as players' handbooks classes. We're just going to do the entirety of the class breakdown. It makes life a lot easier on us and a lot easier on you because you will have everything kind of together. Depending on time-wise, we may do more than one class at a time, but I don't think that'll work out the way that I want it to. So today's episode, we're going to start at the top and just work our way down alphabetically.
Well, not really.
Yeah, not really. Never mind. I lied. I forgot about Artificer.
Yeah.
Because we're going to save that for last-ish. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Barbarian, which is a fun class to play, but I never get to. I somehow never get to play the punchy boy. I say punchy, but they're not punchy.
They can be.
The tanky boy.
I never get to play the ragey boy.
You could build them as a punchy.
That's true. So I will start us with just a summary of it.
I was say we want to go over the actual class.
Yeah. We're actually gonna, so if I can figure out how I want to do this, there's so much of it is the problem. Oh, okay? I get you. Oh shit, I misclicked. The table. That's probably the best start not to talk. So your barbarians are your ragey people, usually tanks because with rage they can take partial damage, half damage, correct?
Half damage
on depending on your subclass.
Well, all of them get bludgeoning, piercing, slash.
Well, yeah, all of them get that, but you can get more depending on. So with the barbarian table, we'll break that down at first level. All these proficiency bonuses, I'm going to go through that really quick just because they will be the same no matter what class we talk about. At first through fourth level, your proficiency bonus is +2. Fifth through eighth level, it's +3. Ninth through 12th level, +4. 13th through 16th is +5. And 17th plus 20th is +6.
And how would you describe what proficiency bonus actually means?
So, I feel like I'm the wrong person to describe this.
I can do it.
Okay.
How good you are at stuff you know how to do. It rises as you level. So, it's a modifier you add to anything you know how to do.
I know it that way. It's just, it's one of those things that it's weird
That's your
for me
layman term.
Yeah, for me to try to describe. That is much better than what I would have said. So at first level, the features that you get is rage and unarmored defense. You get 2 rages per, is it long rest? Or short rest?
Let me look.
I know we'll talk about it here in a second. And then your rage damage is +2 at first level. At second level, you get reckless attack and danger sense. We will break all of this down. Yep. You get 2 rages still, and it's still +2 on your rage damage. At third level, you get a primal path, which you also get an increase to 3 rages and +2. Have you found it yet? As far as
yes, it's long rest.
It's long rest. Okay, so you get 3 per long rest. At fourth level, you get an ability score improvement or a feat, up to you. You still have 3, and your rage damage is +2. At fifth level, you get extra attack and fast movement. 3 rages, +2 damage. At sixth level, I have to keep sliding back so I can actually read it. You get a path feature, which is your rages go up to 4, and your damage goes to +2. At seventh level, you get Feral Instinct with his 4 rages and +2. At eighth level, you get another ability score improvement, which is still 4 rages +2 damage. At ninth level, you get Brutal Critical, which is only 1 die at the time. 4 rages and +3 to your rage damage. 10th level, you get Path Feature, 4 rages +3. 11th, you get Relentless Rage, 4 rages +3. 12th level, ability score improvement, 5 rages +3. At 13th, you get a second Brutal Critical die, which is 5 rages and +3. Still on your rage damage. At 14th, you get another path feature, 5 rages +3 still. Persistent Rage is level 15, 5 rages plus 3 damage. 16th level, you get the ability score improvement, 5 rages plus 4 on your rage damage. 17th is the Brutal Critical 3rd dice. You get 6 rages and plus 4 on your rage damage. 18th is Indomitable Might. You get 6 rages and plus 4. And then 19th level, you get another ability score improvement, which seems like an odd place for an ability score improvement. You get 6 rages and plus 4 to your rage damage. And then at 20th level, you get Primal Champion. And you now get unlimited rages, which means you should be raging all the time, no matter what. And plus 4 on your damage.
That's the secret. I'm always angry.
That's that's a good way to say it. So now we'll go to features, and we'll see who gets to break this down, and it will not be me.
That's fair.
Ethan.
All right, so the first thing in the features is so with hit points. So that's how much health you have, right? So most classes have a D8 for their hit points that they get to roll whenever they level to add to their base level, or a D10. Barbarians are the only ones that have a 1d12 every level add to their health pool. And then you add your constitution modifier, of course. And then, so in their proficiencies, you get proficiency with armor. I'm not sure why.
You can technically wear the armor and
At
dump.
low levels,
Yeah.
your armor defense may not be high enough to actually
I guess so.
be better than.
But
armor.
they can use light armor, medium armor, and shields. Shields are very useful. Makes barbarians horrible. From a DM standpoint, makes them horrible. They can use simple and martial weapons. Basically, they can use any weapon that's not like requiring special.
Yeah.
That's one thing I hate
proficiencies.
about the way this breaks down. I wish it just said all weapons whenever it's simple.
Because it's not true though.
It's not true.
They don't get firearms or any special weapons.
I forget about.
Like, there's some of them like whips and stuff that are special weapons that you just don't get, or blowguns, stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. Then.
And then they don't get any tool bonuses because rage. Key, you throw somebody through the door. You don't open the door.
Oh yeah, who needs?
Saving throws is strength and constitution. I mean, it's exactly what you expect out of a rage monster. And then they do get skills. They get to pick 2 from animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival. For the equipment, their base equipment that they start out with, you can choose whether you want a great axe or any other martial weapon, melee weapon. And then you can get 2 hand axes or any simple weapon that you choose. And you also get an explorer's pack and 4 javelins. So you can get all that information like from the book, but there is little things that you need to know about that. Constitution is your main stat for Barbarian.
Yes.
That's going to control almost, I mean, you'll find out in a bit, but it's going to control a lot of the class. That's why it's in the saving throws. Usually you're going to find your main stat for any class within the saving throws, where you can tell what
Those are
you're
your
going to be
main
using.
2 typically.
As for the skills, generally speaking, if I'm going to talk about my opinion about it, athletics is always going to be the first choice.
Makes sense.
I mean, there's no reason not to. It's the most useful one outside of
For a barbarian.
for a
Yes,
barbarian.
for a barbarian.
Yeah,
That is all class specific.
Yeah.
and then you would choose the others basically depending on your character, essentially.
Most people go athletics, intimidation.
Generally speaking, though, with the equipment, though, especially since we normally start at later level, we
Like
choose
at least
different
third.
equipment.
Second or third.
We usually choose different equipment. This is basically if you are starting at level 1.
Yes. Each little feature we'll roll and see who talks about it. Which actually, Jarrett, why don't you just go? You haven't talked yet.
I can just go.
I can roll. Oh, look, it's Jarrett. Rage, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could have said that. out loud.
Yeah. Rage. It's the main feature of the barbarians. It's their defining feature, I should say.
Yep.
While raging, you gain the following benefits while you're not wearing heavy armor, which they don't have proficiency in. So why would you be wearing heavy armor?
It does some weird things.
It is, it's just. I think it's because specific cases you could be wearing heavy armor. But
Yeah.
they're just telling you can't. Probably for multi-classing stuff.
More than likely.
Yeah. You have advantage on strength checks and saving throws. When you make a melee weapon attack using strength, you gain a bonus to damage roll equal to your barbarian level.
That's that rage damage I was talking about.
You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. If you are able to cast spells, you can't cast them or concentrate on them while raging.
Too angry.
Yep.
Too angry to focus. Your rage lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you're knocked unconscious, or your turn ends without you having attacked a hostile creature or taken damage since on your last turn. You can end your rage as a bonus action. I don't know of a reason why you would ever end it.
Yeah, especially because you get a finite amount.
Depends on your path.
Maybe there is.
Yeah,
maybe
there
there's
is
something I'm not
reasons.
thinking of.
We can-
But, yeah. Even number of rage is shown in the table of your equal to your barbarian level, or of your according to your barbarian level, not equal
Yep,
to.
and you have to finish a long rest before you can rage again. So here's the interesting thing: the rage lasts for 1 minute. In D&D, that is 10 rounds, correct?
Every round is 6 seconds.
Yes. So it'll be 10 rounds.
Yep.
I did the math right.
Mm-hmm.
That's rare. I can't read and
Yeah.
can't do math. So
Good job.
I did not know you only had one rage per long rest. That's what that says, right?
No, it's the number of rages. Once you've expended
Okay,
all your
yeah,
rage,
once you-
rage
that doesn't
uses,
sound right. I've never heard that before.
you just regain all the uses
Gotcha.
again.
Yeah.
It's worded very weirdly.
It is. It is.
And then we'll go on to unarmored defense, and it is Jarrett again,
Oh, okay.
back to back.
Yeah.
Which is short.
The second really good, probably their other really good defining feature is their unarmored defense.
Which is weird to me because I don't know why.
Conan.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know why it's such a favorite feature. You know what I mean?
It's actually based upon real world history with berserkers from
They just did so much.
Norse.
Gotcha.
cultures. Yeah, they just didn't wear armor. They just ran into combat and died.
Yeah. So where you're not wearing
Took out
any
some few
armor,
people.
your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity mod and your constitution mod, and you can use a shield and still gain the benefit.
Which is top notch. The downside to it is you have to put points into dex.
Yes,
as
it's
well.
A bit of Barbarian's a bit mad, multi-attribute dependent in that situation where you have to strengths, dex, constitution.
I will say this: if you're playing something like a turtle that may have a higher AC, you can choose which AC you're using.
Well,
if you're using the turtle's AC, you can choose to use the 17 instead of the maybe
Instead of
16.
having a dump into dex, and then you can just focus strictly on strength and con, which will give you more damage and more health, essentially. And then we'll go into reckless attack, which is Ethan.
Danger sense.
No, reckless attack is next.
Oh, okay. Reckless attack. Again, as a barbarian, why would you not reckless attack? Reckless attack just basically gives you advantage to hit and gives somebody the next attack against you advantage to hit you. Advantage just means that you roll twice to hit and take the higher roll.
Interestingly enough, I think this gets worse the higher you go, because you're giving advantage to
More
powerful enemies.
Early on, it's really like level 1, level 2. It's really kind of dangerous to do it. I would say between 3 and 14.
Yeah,
it's really just why would you not use reckless attack? And then
Because I don't like being hit.
after that, you're probably at such a level of chance to hit that it's unlikely unless you're just like facing something.
Essentially, lets the
Crazy.
Enemy, it lets the enemy crit fish though, and be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
yeah.
Yep.
And then I will take us into danger sense. So at second level, you gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have advantage on dex saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. So again, like Ethan said, when you have advantage, you roll twice. Take the higher number. Advantages do not stack. If you have an advantage for any other reason, you don't get advantage. You don't get to roll 3 times and take the highest number. You just roll twice, and that's all there's to it. There is something in the Dungeon Master's Guide, correct, about if you have another reason for advantage, it adds like a plus, or is that a homebrew thing?
That might be like a variant rule they might have used, but that's not actually.
I don't think it's currently variant roll. I think that was a previous edition. You
Okay,
added 5 to both rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
I don't think that's
I always
current.
the one I had seen, which was probably a homebrew one, was you rolled twice. If you had advantage, you add the +5 to your higher number.
Okay.
So that you would still take advantage like you normally would, but then get the +5. So that's where, again, you kind of have to dump into dex. Because you don't have to dump into dex because you get advantage, but it helps you to have a higher dex. And then we'll go into...
But you could also say on the flip side of that, like the dexterity, because you have advantage, you don't have to dump as much into it.
Exactly. The next one is the Primal Pass, which we will break down in their own ways later. And then the next little block on here is the ability score improvements, which you get 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th. With the ability score improvements, you get to choose one ability score to increase by 2, or you can increase 2 by 1, or you can take a feat. Depending on your DM, some let you choose both, depending on how much they want, how powerful they want to make you. I know that in
our character, that's how we do it. You get both.
You get both, which is awesome. It makes you feel much more powerful,
and more unique.
Yeah,
because you can actually diversify your character through feats.
It's like the simplest expression of the rule of cool.
Yes. Extra attack, which is just instead of when you take the attack action, I'm reading this because it's very short. When you take the attack action, you can do it twice instead of once on your turn. Fast movement at 5th level increases by 10 while you aren't wearing heavy armor, which again, we've already talked about. Why would you? And then we'll go, Ethan, talk to us about Feral Instinct.
So one of the best things you can do for your character is to make sure that if they get into combat, they're going as soon as possible so that you can position yourself, or you can say if you are a spellcaster, that you're going as soon as possible to get off what you want to get off, to get rolling the combat that you want. Because in the end, the first person to strike in combat, the first person to act in combat is usually the last person to act in combat. Or at least your side, at least. Generally speaking. Feral Instinct is that so your initiative roll decides like when you go in combat, when you take your turn. So Feral Instinct gives your instincts, it makes your instincts are so honed that you have advantage on initiative rolls, which means you roll twice, take the highest one, like we said before. Additionally, if you are surprised at the beginning of combat, you aren't incapacitated, you can act normally as if on your turn, so you aren't surprised. Yeah, you aren't Essentially, surprised. You cannot be surprised in combat, which is good.
Is why people take the alert feat. Yeah. Is so that you can't get. It's one of the reasons why people take alert.
It's like essentially working in an additional feat into the class itself.
Yes.
Then the important thing, your initiative bonus is determined by your dex modifier.
Supposed to be.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yes. Rules is red. Your dex is what controls. It's what you add whenever you roll. You roll your d20, you get an 18. If you have a +4 dex, you're at a 22. And then, Jarrett, take us into Brutal Critical.
Beginning at 9th level, you can roll 1 additional weapon die when determining the extra damage for a critical hit with a melee attack. It increases to 2 additional die at 13 and 3 additional die at 17th level. It's just really good at making your crits hit even harder. It is important to note you roll those after your damage is doubled if you go by rules as written.
Okay, so like you would roll your damage, double it, roll your extra dice.
Add your modifier, then roll the dice.
Yep. Gotcha. Would that really make too much of a difference, though?
Well, because you're not, and those D12s, or not, theoretically, this is used Great Axe or something big.
It means that the average and the minimum amount of damage you do with a crit is much higher.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you just it doesn't double all those big damage dice if you get like a Great Axe or something that has D10 or something. Like you're just not getting those extra.
Gotcha.
Doubles.
So, and then I'll take us into Relentless Rage. Starting at 11th level, your rage can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. If you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging and don't die outright, you can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you drop to 1 hit point instead. Each time you use this feature after the first hit, the DC increases by 5. When you finish a short or long rest, the DC resets to 10. This is very good because it's essentially if you are a half-orc. If you were to use a half-orc, you would get the first one free.
Yep.
And then you can use the DC 10 on the next one. And you can just keep stabilizing yourself and keep yourself in the fight.
The highest I've ever seen anybody get was a 25, I think.
Yeah.
And then that was when I was fighting Jamie.
At 13th level, you get Brutal Brutal critical again, where it's 2 additional dice.
Yeah.
That's very short. Ethan, if you want to read it, you can. Persistent rage. You lost it, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost it.
Okay, I got it. I got it right here.
I get it.
Your rage is so fierce that it ends early only if you fall unconscious or if you choose to end it. So you can't lose it. So there's different ways you can lose your rage, such as calm emotions, things like that. Not acting or attacking on that turn. So this just keeps it going. Makes you not have to worry about certain things or certain spells as much. Yeah, it's just useful.
And then brutal critical again. This is where you get the 3 additional weapon damage dice. Indomitable might at 18th level. If your total for a strength check is less than your strength score, you can use that score in place of the total. So if you have a 20 for your strength score, you can then and you roll an 18, you can use your 20. Correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then primal champion, you at 20th level, you embody the power of the wilds. Your strength and constitution scores increase by 4. Your maximum for those scores is now 24, which is pretty good because I think this is the only class that
gives you a stat increase in the base class that I know of,
and
the only one that raises your
max besides with magical weapons or armor
Items.
I guess that's the best way to say it.
Items and certain pieces of equipment, yeah.
All right, so now we get to move on to the different paths. We're going to do Path of the Wild Magic, which is in a completely different order on our list versus D&D Beyond. I'm using the D&D Beyond one. Ethan, why don't you take us through Path of the Wild Magic? You can do the whole path, and which is that actually... That's one that you played.
I played it briefly, yes. It's a lot of fun. Just running around the fight, chopping people's heads off, farting out flumps. It's fantastic. That's actually what happened.
Yep. Yeah.
So with Path of the Wild Magic, essentially you are somehow connected to probably the Feywild, the plants, something that has a lot of magic. And it's actually, wild magic is just chaotic magic. So it's just random stuff happening, turning you into potted plant, something like that.
It's our podcast, except for magical.
Cast a fireball on yourself.
The first ability you get with it is magic awareness. You can open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic until the end of your next turn. You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you. That can be very useful. It's a kind of a niche thing, but it's very useful. You can use this feature a number of times equal to proficiency. At 3rd level, you also get Wild Surge, which is what I was talking about with the farting flumps thing. It's a really interesting way. It reflavors your rage quite a bit to be more effective while being also crazy or more entertaining.
And can be detrimental.
It can be detrimental, and it's just generally pretty funny.
Does it, which you're probably about to talk about it, but does it use the Sorcerer's Wild Magic table?
It has
its own
minor table.
It's right there.
Gotcha.
But basically, whenever you enter your rage, so whenever you activate your rage as a bonus action, an additional effect happens. You want me to read those effects?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we should tell the people.
There are 8 different effects to choose from here. Of course, you could make up your own, add your own. It's the beauty of D&D. So the first one is shadowy tendrils lash around you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage. You also gain 1d12 temporary hit points. That's the first chance. So you would roll a d8 on this table, and this is, if you got a 1, this is what it would be. The second one is you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Until your rage ends, you can use this effect again on each of your turns as a bonus action. So you just like pop around the battlefield.
That's the one I think I remember you using. Not intentionally, but it happened.
Yeah, that one did happen.
It was beneficial.
Yeah, it was beneficial. The third option is an intangible spirit, which looks like a flump. This is what I was talking about. Or a pixie, your choice, appears within 5 feet of one creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of the current turn, that spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed a dexterity and saving throw or take 1d6 force damage. Until your rage end, you can use this effect again, summoning another spirit as a bonus action.
That sounds very good.
It is very good. It worked really good against that awful tiny beholder. Magic infuses one weapon of your choice that you are holding. Until your rage ends, the weapon damage type changes to force, and it gains light and thrown properties. So you just throw your weapon around. The fifth option is whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll before your rage ends, the creature takes 1d6 force damage. So it's like a thorns type property. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you, out of the ground, I'm assuming. The ground within 15 feet of you becomes difficult terrain. And then 6 is until your rage ends, you are surrounded by multicolored protective light. You gain +1 to your AC. And while within 10 feet of you, your allies gain the same bonus. So everyone within 10 feet of you gets an aura of +1 AC.
Which is very good.
It's super good. I got that one too on the roll. It was key. And then the last one is a bolt of light shoots from your chest, so you become Iron Man for half a second, and it does a whole bunch of damage. At level 6, you gain bolstering magic. You can harness your wild magic to bolster yourself into or a companion. As an action, you can touch one creature or yourself and confer. Sorry, and
It's
confer.
the black pepper.
I think it is. Confer one of the following benefits of your choice to that creature. For 10 minutes, the creature can roll D3 whenever you're a D3.
D6
Yeah.
and half.
Yeah. A D3 whenever making an
Kinda like
attack
that's what
roll
we're
or
using.
an ability check, and add the number rolled to the D20 roll. So you can, it's like a inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Like a
good.
bardic inspiration. Level 10, you get unstable backlash. When you are imperiled during your rage, the magic within can lash out immediately after you take damage or fail a saving throw. While raging, you can use your reaction to roll on a wild magic table and immediately produce an effect around you from the previous table. And then controlled surge at 14 is the last change that you get is whenever you roll on the wild magic table, you can roll a die twice and choose from which effect you want from the table.
Interesting.
It's a really chaotic, and it sounds really complicated, but when you break it down, it's really just affecting how your rage works.
Which
That'll
in
happen,
turn
like-
can make it more fun.
It can make it a lot more fun,
You're
a lot
not
more
stuck
interesting.
in a
It makes a lot of really interesting things happen randomly that is really challenging for you to work with to make work in your favor.
yeah.
Makes you think differently instead of just the regular barbarian me smash.
Me smash. Hulk smash.
Yeah.
Big monster. So, and then we're going to go to Path of the Ancestral Guardian. Jarrett, that's you.
See, starting at 3rd level, you spectral warriors appear whenever you enter your rage. While you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes the target of the warriors, which hinders its attacks. Yeah. Until the start of your next turn, that target has disadvantage on any attack roll that isn't against you, and when the target hits a creature other than you with attack, that creature has resistance to the damage dealt by the attack. This effect may end on the target if your rage ends.
Which is such a good,
Yeah.
like, that's top tier if you're trying to be the
It
tank.
is literally a tank. Yeah, you're just like gaining aggro and being like, follow me.
Yeah. And so you have to hit me or you're not going to hit anybody else.
Yeah. At 6th level, you have the Spirit Shield ability, a guardian spirits that aid you can provide supernatural protection to those you defend. If you are raging and another creature you can see within 30 feet takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. When you reach certain levels of this class, you can reduce the damage by more at 3d6 at 10th level and 46 at 14th level. It's just another like little, just kind of like
You're a tank.
reduce damage, focus on me. Does use your reaction, which is kind of
It's your reaction, though. I mean,
some classes that's really
some classes it can, but I feel like Barbarian's not
well. If you
super
If
reaction.
you like threw like a sentinel on this, if you're like trying to make sure you are the tank, the wall,
Yeah.
you're trying to control them. At 10th level, you have the Consult the Spirits ability. You gain the ability to consult with your ancestral spirits. When you do so, you can cast the Augury or Clairvoyance spell without using a spell slot or material components. Rather than creating a spherical sensor, you can use the clairvoyance invisibly summons one of your ancestral spirits to be chosen to the chosen location. Wisdom is your spell casting ability for these spells. After you cast either spells this way, you can use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. Just a nice little spell flavor bump or flavor ribbon ability.
Yeah.
Like, not really going to be super useful.
Well, it's a nice change from the Totem Barbarian, which is where you relegate most tanks to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a different flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. And then at 14th level, you have the Vengeful Ancestors ability. Your ancestral spirits grow powerful enough to retaliate. When you use your spirit shield to reduce the damage of an attack, the attacker takes an amount of force damage equal to the damage that your spirit shield prevents. Just another little, just like, don't hit anybody else, because if you do, you're going to get slapped with more damage. Just hit me.
Yeah, and it can be at 14th level, which is whenever you get this, it's 46, which is not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to just say, hey, you hit somebody else.
You mentioned it for a second, but that works so well with Sentinel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it encourages you to, like, don't target anybody else. Focus on me, big melee guy.
It's interesting. You talked about Totem being a tank. I feel like this is a tank in a help the party tank way.
This is like a classical MMO tank of, like, draw aggro, focus on me.
Yeah, so other people don't get hit.
Whereas
the Totem is very much
damage fun.
Yeah, I can take hits myself, and if they want to hit anybody else, they can.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem as party friendly. It seems more self friendly.
I think they're both really effective. It's just that I think for party synergy, I think the Ancestral Guardian works a lot better.
Yes. And then I will take us into the path of the Battle Rager, which is, depending on your DM, a dwarves only class. So, of course, DM can remove this restriction. When you get Battle Rager armor at 3rd level, you gain the ability to use a spiked armor, which is I can't remember. You can see the spiked armor sidebar as a weapon. This is from Sword Coast, correct? That's what I thought.
It's a special, like, armor thing you put on.
Yeah, it does damage as you get hit, basically. While you are wearing the spiked armor and are raging, you can use a bonus action to make one melee weapon attack with your armor spikes against a target within 5 feet of you. If the attack hits, the spikes deal 1d4 piercing damage, and you can use your strength modifier for the attack and damage rolls. Additionally, when you use the attack action to grapple a creature, the target takes 3 piercing damage if your grapple check succeeds. It actually has spiked armor right underneath it. So it's a rare type of medium armor made by dwarves. It consists of a leather coat and leggings covered with spikes that are usually made of metal. It costs 75 gold. Your AC is 14 plus your dex mod, which is with a max of 2. You have disadvantage on stealth, and its weight is 45 pounds. At 6th level, you get Reckless Abandon, and when you use Reckless Attack while raging, you gain temporary hit points equal to your Constitution modifier with a minimum of 1, and they vanquish if any of them are left when your rage ends. So that's very good considering you get 2 attacks, and you can use Reckless Attack on both, correct?
Yes.
Anytime you attack?
Well, the start of your turn, or when you make your first attack.
But you can use them on both of your...
Yeah, but you have to decide when you make your first attack if you're going to reckless that turn or not.
Gotcha. And then at 10th level, you get Battle Rager Charge, which you can take the dash action as a bonus action while you are raging. And at 14th level, you get Spiked Retribution, which when a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with a melee attack, the attacker takes 3 piercing damage if you are raging, aren't incapacitated, and are wearing spiked armor. That is very specific.
It's a very niche subclass.
Yeah, and I don't think any of us have ever played it.
No, I mean, I've thought about playing it this time around. Instead of Rex, I thought about playing a dwarf that did it, and because I was going to use Poisoner with it, because it feels like it could be a little bit more, but I feel like anything that adds damage to any damage you're doing is going to make this just wholly awful, like, and deal tons of damage. But as base, it's not that great.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then we're going to go into Path of the Beast, which is Jarrett.
Yay. It's really long.
It's from Tasha's Call. Is it really long?
Oh, it's there.
Oh, God, it's long.
You should see Storm Herald.
You could skip some of it if you want.
Yeah.
Some of the main like details.
Yeah. So you have this is more like it's even more primal than like Totem somehow. Like, it's just more like wild man, like savage barbarian.
Yes,
It's Wolverine.
Yeah.
essentially.
When you enter rage, you can transform, revealing the bestial power within you. Until your rage ends, you manifest a natural weapon. It counts as a simple melee weapon for you, and you add your strength modifier to the attack and damage rolls when you attack with that weapon. So you have choices are a bite, a claw, and a tail. The bite deals in 1d8 piercing damage. Once on each of your turns, when you damage a creature with the bite, you can regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, provided you're less than half your total hit points. Claws, it transforms both your hands into claws, and they deal 1d6 slashing damage. On each of your turns when you attack with a claw, using the attack action, you can make one additional claw attack as part of the same action. So that lets you get 5th level 3 attacks without using your bonus action, which is fairly good.
Yeah,
they are only d6, but still,
Yeah.
if you had like a one-handed weapon, you went like attack, claw, or something.
You can do it that way.
Something.
Which you're not going to get a whole lot more.
No.
You're going to get a D8.
It is nice to have the ability to have a third attack if you needed it.
Yeah.
Tail, you have a tail that deals a 1d8 piercing damage and has the reach property. If a creature you can see within 10 feet hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to swipe the tail and roll a d8, applying that bonus to your AC equal to the number rolled, causing the attack to potentially miss.
Which is interesting.
Yes. It's like a little...
Scorpion tail.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's like could be potentially be better than shield.
Yeah.
Potentially. Could be worse, too.
Could be worse. But sometimes that's all you need.
Yep.
Bestial Soul at 6th level, you have the ability to increase your weapons with magical.
Your natural weapons.
Your natural weapons, overcoming the resistances to and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. You also alter your form to help you adapt to your surroundings. When you finish a short or long rest, you choose one of the following benefits. You have climbing, jumping, swimming. So basically, you just get climbing, you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. Swimming, you have a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Jumping, you can jump. You make a strength athletics check and extend your jump by a number of feet equal to the check's total. That is potentially really, really broken.
Yeah. Considering you can jump very, very far.
You can jump far without using this ability, even as a barbarian, because it's based on your strength.
Yes.
It's I think your long jumps, it's like 3 times your strength mod or something like that.
And especially
So
if
it's
you've
like-
taken athletics, then you have proficiency in it, so it's even higher.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a 20, it's 15.
Yeah,
And then
I think it's something like that. I don't remember exactly, but
if you have athletics, then it's
you can add,
it's like 20 almost,
Yeah.
probably. And then plus this is potentially an extra 20 feet. That's like 40 feet jump.
Yeah.
jumping a small chasm.
Yeah.
And somebody misty stepping across the chasm, and then you just jump over and hit them.
And it doesn't cost anything, right? Does it? No, it doesn't cost anything. It's not a action. Bonus action is part of your movement.
Yeah, you just pick it before,
Mhm.
after your long rest
Yeah.
or short rest.
Yeah. Infectious Fury at 10th level. When you hit a creature with your natural weapons while you're raging, the beast within you curses the target with a rabid fury. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or suffer one of the following effects. The target must use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you can see, or the target takes 2d12 psychic damage. You can use that feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expend uses on a long rest. So it's just a nice way to get, this is how you can get that extra damage with your claws and get really, you can get like...
Feel like you're keeping up with the rest of the party, essentially.
Yeah. Call of the Hunt at 14th level. The beast within you grows so powerful that you can spend its ferocity, or spread its ferocity to others and gain resilience from them joining in your hunt. While you enter rage, you can choose a number of other willing creatures you can see within 30 feet, equal to your con modifier. You gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Until the rage ends, the chosen creatures can each use the following benefit once on each of their turns. When the creature hits a target with an attack roll and deals damage to it, the creature can roll a d6 and gain bonus to the damage equal to the number rolled. You can use that feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you also get them back on a long rest. So it's also a little bit of party synergy, so you can spread some damage out to the rest of your party.
Yep. And that makes it very helpful to people that don't do as much damage.
Yeah, d6 at 14th is not going to
No, it's not
alter
going to.
the battle, but it's like, why wouldn't you?
Every damage helps.
Yeah.
Every bit. And then we're going to go to Path of the Berserker, and it's me. I'm sorry,
Yeah, you get
because that means you get the Storm Herald. At third level, you get Frenzy. You can go into a frenzy when you rage. If you do so for the duration of your rage, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action on each of your turns after this one. When your rage ends, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion. At 6th level, you get Mindless Rage, so you can't be charmed or frightened while raging. If you are charmed or frightened when you enter your rage, the effect is suspended for the duration of the rage. At 10th level, you get Intimidating Presence. You can use your action to frighten someone with your menacing presence. When you do so, choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the creature can see or hear you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of you until the end of your next turn. On subsequent turns, you can use your action to extend the duration of this effect on the frightened creature until the end of your next turn. This effect ends if the creature ends its turn out of line of sight or more than 60 feet away from you. If the creature succeeds on the saving throw, though, you can't use a feature on that particular creature for 24 hours. At 14th level, when you take damage, you get Retaliation. And when you take damage from a creature that is within 5 feet from you, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against that creature. I feel like the best and worst part of this is Frenzy.
It is.
The level of exhaustion.
It's not even that. It's the bonus action. Because you can't use it on your first turn if you rage.
Because the level of exhaustion is only going to be disadvantage on your skill checks.
Yeah, but it piles up as well.
Yeah.
But if you
you're
keep doing it,
probably not going to use it more than
twice.
2 times. Yeah, I think that
Probably longer.
halves your speed, I think.
But then don't you, as you take your long rest, don't you only lose 1 level of exhaustion?
Yeah, or a greater restoration or something. Other things can decrease it.
That's what I mean by it keeps compiling.
Yes,
because if you were to use it 2 times
but
per
my
long
bigger
rest,
problem is
then you go down to 1.
My bigger problem with it is the action economy. It takes you once to use your bonus action, because technically you have to enter rage. I believe you have to also use another bonus action on top of that to. Maybe not. Maybe you can just
It would make me
you
worried. Like if I were to get into combat after this and a spellcaster or some sort use Sickening Radiance, that's when it would get me worried.
Yeah, but it wants like you can't use the main feature of this subclass on the first turn.
Yeah, because you have to rage first.
Some DMs are not going to let you do that. They're going to be like, they'll surprise you with combat or something and be like,
and that's that whole quote again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
always raging.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, take us into Path of the Storm Herald.
Oh dear. Okay.
Which is a long
told
one.
you.
So, Storm Herald is like, it's a primal magic having to do with nature. It's like the druid, there's like a couple different ones that are like druidish barbarians. Don't get focused on like lightning storms. You can choose 3 different paths here. So at 3rd level, when you choose this, you emanate stormy magic aura while you're raging. You can choose one of 3 choices here: desert, sea, or tundra. The desert one, all creatures in your area take 2 fire damage each. The damage increases when you reach certain levels. Is that continuous? Do you know? Because I've never really
Like per round?
Is that per round? 2 damage per round?
Yeah, activate the effect again on each. No, you have to. It looks like you have to activate the effect.
Okay.
So
you have
because
to
it says
activate the effect
it
every
says
turn.
like right above it, your aura has an effect that activates when you enter your rage, and you can activate the effect again on each of your
for
turns
the DC saving throw. Yeah.
as a bonus action.
Yeah.
All right. And then C is when the effect is activated, you can choose one other creature you can see within your aura. The target must make a dexterity saving throw. The target takes 1d6 lightning damage. This is like traditional storm, what you're thinking of. And then Tundra, when this effect is activated, each creature of your choice in your aura gains 2 temporary hit points. So this is going to be probably the more party synergy version. At level 6, you get Storm Soul. The storm grants you benefits whenever your aura isn't active. For the desert benefit, you gain resistance to fire damage, and you don't suffer the effects of extreme heat. Moreover, as an action, you can touch a flammable object that isn't being worn or carried by anyone else and set it on fire. So it's like magic fingers.
Yeah.
For the sea version, which is the traditional storm, you gain resistance to lightning damage, and you can breathe underwater. And you have a swimming speed of 30 feet. Tundra is you gain resistance to cold damage, and you don't suffer the effects of extreme cold. Moreover, as an action, you can touch water and turn a 5-foot cube of it into ice, which melts after 1 minute. So you can walk across water surfaces essentially on ice, or have a nice glass of cold tea. And then at 10th level, you learn to use your mastery of the storm to protect others. Each creature of your choice has a damage resistance. Has the damage resistance you gain from the storm soul feature while this creature is in your storm aura. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Raging Storm at 14th level is what you get, and it's the power of the storm you channel grows mightier, lashing out at your foes. Desert, immediately after a creature in your aura hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to force that creature to make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes fire damage equal to your barbarian level. That's pretty good.
Half your barbarian level.
Yeah, it's another one of those thorns things.
Yeah.
C effect for the Raging Storm is when you hit a creature within your aura with an attack, you can cause your reaction or use your reaction to make them make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is knocked prone. Wow. Okay, I did not know that. As if struck by a wave. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The prone is a terrible place to be in melee combat.
Absolutely.
With a barbarian.
With anything.
Tundra, whenever the effect of your storm aura is active, you can choose one creature you can see within the aura. That creature must succeed on a strength saving throw. Its speed is reduced to 0 until the start of your next turn as magical frost covers it. Well, it's better than I thought. I haven't really taken a really deep look at that.
I think it's important to note, though, that with Storm Aura, the 3rd level, the 10 feet, if you take Desert, all other creatures within that 10 feet of you take the 2 fire damage.
That's including
allies.
Yeah, friends and family.
Yep.
Also, you can't mix and match these. You just
you pick either
Desert, Tundra, or C.
You get those from each time.
Out of those, I think C is probably the best.
Probably.
Overall, I think so.
But you can also change it every time you level to what if you have a particular need.
Gotcha. And then we'll do Path of the Totem Warrior. Jarrett, that is you.
Ooh.
Which I think some would say is the best.
We can definitely the one we're most familiar with.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute.
The next one might be better.
Zealot's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Path of the Totem Warrior, you at 3rd level, you have the ability to cast the Beast Sense and speak with animal spells, but only as rituals. Also at 3rd level, you have the Totem Spirit ability, which you take a totem of one of the 3 animals, either a bear, eagle, or wolf, and they do different things.
There's more options.
Oh yeah, there's so many more options.
But those are in Sword Coast Adventures Guide.
Yep.
They are not listed here.
Yeah, they are. Mine have it pulled up.
I don't have it.
Oh, well, then I'll do this one.
That's fine.
That way it gets everything.
That would make sense why I wouldn't pull it up. I was like, that's weird.
I was confused because as you were reading it. So, like Jarrett said, you get the totem, bear, eagle, elk, tiger, and wolf are your options for those. If you choose bear, while raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage. The spirit of the bear makes you tough enough to stand up to any punishment. That's probably the best one on this 3rd level.
Definitely.
Eagle, while you're raging, other creatures have disadvantage on opportunity attack rolls against you, and you can use the dash action as a bonus action on your turn. With elk, while you're raging and aren't wearing heavy armor, which we've talked about, why would you? Your walking speed increases by 15 feet. Tiger, while raging, you can add 10 feet to your long jump distance and 3 feet to your high jump distance. And with wolf, while you're raging, your friends have advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that is hostile to you. That's pretty beneficial.
That's probably the second best.
Yeah, I would say second best. And then at 6th level, you get Aspect of the Beast. You gain another totem. With the totems, you can choose separately, though,
Yes, you
correct?
can.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I thought. You don't have to stick with Bear. It's not like the same as Storm Herald.
No.
So at 6th level with Bear, you gain the Might of the Bear. Your carrying capacity, including maximum load and maximum lift, is doubled, and you have advantage on strength checks made to push, pull, lift, or break objects. With Eagle, you gain the eyesight of an eagle. You can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty, able to discern even fine details as though looking at something no more than 100 feet away from you. Additionally, dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception checks. Elk, whether mounted or on foot, your travel pace is doubled, as is the travel pace of up to 10 companions while they're within 60 feet of you, and you're not incapacitated. That's pretty beneficial if you focus on moving in your campaign.
Not everybody
Like
does,
a pace.
but if you
delve into the exploration tree of D&D, it's very useful.
it's very useful.
And then Tiger, you gain proficiency in 2 skills from the following. You can either get athletics, acrobatics, stealth, or survival. With Wolf, you gain the hunting sensibilities of a wolf. You can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace. I feel like Tiger's probably, I don't know, I'm a skill horse.
Generally,
So
Yeah, that's what I always pick.
Generally, the best if you're doing the
other 4
tracking the traveling times and stuff. Elk is good, but
Yeah.
Wolf is good too. I mean,
I would say
depends on the
say,
campaign.
Like, the other 4 are more like ribbon abilities that are very niche.
the way that we play, I would say Tiger or Eagle would be the 2 best. Eagle comes in handy if you have, what's the feat that lets you read mouths?
Observant.
Yeah. If you have Observant, that one,
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
I wouldn't say Legolas, more like, I don't know.
That's what I always think of.
Yeah, I know.
that's what everybody always thinks of.
Legolas is
All right.
not a barbarian.
I know, but he has
He has the eagle eyes.
yeah, he has the elf eye
He's a level 10 barbarian. No, he's not.
multi-class.
Spirit Walker. So at
Taking
10th
the
level,
hobbits to Isengard.
Yeah.
at 10th level, you can cast Commune with Nature spell, but only as a ritual. When you do so, a spiritual version of one of the animals you chose for totem spirit or aspect of the beast appears to you to convey the information you seek.
It's very niche,
It's-
but
yeah,
it
it's
can
situational.
It can be very useful, actually.
And then at 14th level, you get another totem. For Bear, you get, while you're raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you or another character with this feature, which is very similar to...
The Ancestral Guardian.
Yes.
Yeah.
so you can get that later on, which makes it pretty nice. An enemy is immune to this effect if it can't see or hear you or if it can't be frightened. With Eagle, you have a flying speed equal to your current walking speed while raging. This benefit works only in short bursts. You fall if you end your turn in the air, and nothing else is holding you aloft. With Elk, while raging, you can use a bonus action during your move to pass through the space of a large or smaller creature, and the creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone and take bludgeoning damage equal to 1d12 plus your strength mod. With Tiger, when you're raging, if you move at least 20 feet in a straight line toward a large or smaller target right before making a melee weapon attack against it, you can use a bonus action to make an additional melee weapon attack against it, which again gives you 3 attacks essentially, which is really good. With Wolf, while you're raging, you can use a bonus action on your turn to knock a large or smaller creature prone when you hit it with a melee weapon attack. All of these are good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh, yeah, they're nice.
I would say that Eagle is probably
Yes.
the least useful.
Oh, I would say it's the most useful.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But barbarians have a hard time getting range. Like if they barbarians want to deal up front, but sometimes you have like a flying enemy or someone that you can't reach because of height and stuff.
But
I would always choose that. That's
But I mean, if you think about it,
I value
with
mobility.
with a flying target, you can fly to them and grapple them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
But all of them are good.
I would say the bear one is the most useful.
That would
Just
be mine.
strictly because you are barbarian, you are meat shield.
I would almost go Bear than Wolf because anytime you can just use your bonus action to knock somebody prone. Because all you have to do is hit. As long as you hit with that attack, which you have reckless attack. Which
It's true.
Do you have to use your bonus action? No, you don't have to use your bonus action to reckless attack.
No, it's part of your attack action. You have
All
to
right,
declare
Derek. You can take us to Path of the Zealot.
Yes. At 3rd level, you have Divine Fury.
Oh my.
Yes. You can channel Divine Fury in your weapon strikes. While you're raging, the first creature you hit on each of your turns with a weapon attack takes extra damage equal to 1d6 plus half your barbarian level. The extra damage is either necrotic or radiant. You choose when you gain this feature. That's just a really good just damage boost right off the rip.
It's really good. Every hit.
And it just keeps getting better. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, you are resistant to both necrotic and radiant damage.
Which is fantastic.
Great.
Really good. Warrior of the Gods at 3rd level. Your soul is marked for endless battle. If a spell such as Raise Dead has the sole effect of restoring you to life, but not on death, the caster doesn't need material components to cast a spell on you. Again, not everybody uses material components, but if you do, like Raise Dead, it's a big diamond. Revivify, smaller diamond, but still kind of,
It's expensive.
Yeah.
A diamond worth at least 500 gold.
Yeah. At 6th level, Fanatical Focus. The divine power that fuels your rage can protect you. If you fail a saving throw while you're raging, you can re-roll it, but you must use the new roll. You can only use this ability once per rage. It's literally better than a fighter ability.
Oh, yeah.
And you get it earlier.
It's fantastic.
Just power crept a fighter.
It's so broken.
It's so good. That's why I said it might be better than Totem. If you're looking for a pure damage perspective, it's probably the best.
Tough as shit,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go. Zealous Presence. At 10th level, you learn to channel your divine power to inspire zealotry in others. As a bonus action, you unleash a battle cry infused with divine energy. Up to 10 creatures of your choice within 60 feet of you that can hear that you gain advantage on all attack rolls and saving throws until the start of your next turn. You can only use it once per long rest, but that's really, really, really good.
It's a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
Especially because most parties don't have
Something like that.
more than 10 people.
Yeah. No, that lets you get your party, any NPCs your DM may be giving you. I mean, that's if you have more than 10 people, I would hate to be your DM. 14th level, you have Rage Beyond Death, which is probably the most broken. I don't know.
It's really
insane
crazy.
ability they have.
Yeah.
Beginning of 14th level, the divine power that fuels your rage allows you to shrug off fatal blows while you're raging. Having 0 hit points doesn't knock you unconscious. You still must make death saving throws, and you can suffer the normal effects of taking damage while at 0 hit points. However, if you would die due to failing death saving throws, you don't die until your rage ends, and you die, and then only if you still have 0 hit points.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
It's really
So
like
you
it's
can
already hard to kill an NPC.
Well, it's already
Or
it's already hard.
for a PC. It's hard to kill a PC
Yes.
as a DM.
Not that, it's already hard to kill a barbarian because they have usually the most health and resistance to the 3 most common types of
and
damage.
they usually have a really high AC. Median AC.
Yeah, they have
It's
a
20.
fairly
usually.
good AC, but they're just really hard to kill.
And then
In
this
general.
one just makes it to where if you died,
It is
You
almost literally impossible.
you get to 0 and
You can die, literally outright die. Someone can heal you,
you're fine.
and you're fine. It's insane.
As long as your rage is
'cause you
until
don't-
it ends.
You don't
You
technically
have
die.
10 rounds.
Exactly.
You have 10 rounds.
No,
It's
and basically,
bonkers.
the next level, you don't even have. At 15th level, you have relentless rage. So even if you don't get hit, your rage is still up. You're still good.
That's
Yeah.
what level was that?
The
14?
14 is Rage Beyond Death. and
That's crazy at 14.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy.
strong.
then any level.
Because usually those type of capstones that are just bonkers strong are like 20. And then, but
It's the
because
capstone for the
of
subclass.
Barbarian, it's the capstone for the subclass. So
It's nuts.
you like stop there at 14 and then just go the rest into another class.
Yeah, you could literally do that. And
You
be
can
like,
heal yourself in that meantime.
Yeah. Dip 1 level of cleric.
No, you can't cast spells. But
Oh,
there's
you're
other
right.
ways to
That's
gain
right, yeah.
health. Yeah.
literally just go into fighter, get second wind.
Yep.
Sure. Or be a druid.
Plus
Cast
champion.
good berry beforehand and just have your little good berries.
Plus champion with that, getting the crits.
Oh, yeah,
in.
you can go crit for it. It's nuts.
No, it's
nuts.
crazy.
That's dangerous.
You got 6 levels to work with.
Yeah. All right. So now we get to bring up our question. I found this question on TikTok. I unfortunately can't remember who it was. I'm sorry to that person, but I did appreciate it. So, real world, our world, where we're at, you get 2 spells. These spells can be from cantrip, all the way up to 5th level spells. You can use them an unlimited amount of time. So basically, they can always be active if they are something that is a time-based thing, or if you just want to use them multiple times. What are the 2 spells that you will select? No, you are the only one that has these spells. So counterspell does you no good. You can't be like, go fuck yourself to the other
I
person.
got something better.
God, I hate you. Ethan, do you know yours? No? You're just going to pull some right
No,
out of
I
your
don't.
ass?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will.
Don't worry, I got.
So since Jarrett, if you got some,
Oh.
go ahead, because I got to
Okay.
relook at mine and try to remember.
So just to be like the trolliest of all trolls and just interrupt everybody's day that I know, I'm going to pick for one of them, sending, which means I can send anybody I know a 25-word message, but I can use it unlimited amount of times a day. So I can literally just talk to you. I can just troll anybody.
The man won't talk on Discord, but he will send you a fucking message through.
In your head. Yeah, because it'd be funny.
Oh, you're such a cunt. Hit him with the hard T.
For my other spell, probably something, to counter the trolliness, probably something like Raise Dead. Just to be like, with the good comes the bad.
Fucking what?
Yeah. You said 5th level. That's,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Look, what if you died? You wouldn't take that as a nurse and be like, oops, my patient's died.
Okay. No.
Raise Dead.
I wouldn't, because there's times where it needs to happen.
Sure, fair enough. But,
Although I did, as I was looking through spells before, I was like, as a nurse, I should probably take a healing spell. But then I was like, as a person, fuck that. So I know one, which I can't remember if it was, I don't think it's true polymorph, because that's a higher level, correct?
Not true. That's 9.
Okay.
Polymorph is 4.
It was polymorph.
You turn into any animal you want.
Well, you can turn it. You can also just change your appearance a little bit, can't you?
No, it's beast.
It's beast.
You turn into any beast.
Well, maybe it wasn't polymorph then.
Well, then alter self, disguise self.
Maybe it was alter self. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Did you want gills?
No.
You just want to change how you look?
Alter self was one of them that I looked at and thought about it, because I was like, that would be beneficial to be able to change yourself and give yourself a little bit of aspects to improve your life.
Also, with my spells, I could start a religion.
We're really learning a lot about you in this brief second.
Could be a messiah.
Stop. Please don't.
No, you could not.
I could heal anybody.
You know what power does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he wants it.
No, I really don't. I just feel that'd be funny.
Maybe it was polymorph so that I could turn into a bird and get places easier.
I know
And
you can fly. For an hour. But that doesn't
it's
matter.
unlimited.
Yeah, you're unlimited, so
Exactly.
there is no real negative to that.
Yeah. There was that
Just turn
one.
into a peregrine falcon and fly 80 miles an hour everywhere.
Is that how fast they fly?
Something like that. That may only be in dives though. So.
And also, as I was looking through this, I seen Tensor's floating disc, and I immediately thought back to the werewolf, the circus werewolf incident that we had.
Oh my God.
It was such a good moment.
It was.
That was
good.
so early in my D&D life, and it has stuck out so much. I can't remember
Do
the
you want
other
me to
one.
throw out some
Yeah, throw out some good ones. I feel like you know more.
I do know a lot of spells.
What about Summon Celestial? I would just take that.
Summon an angel? Yeah. If we're talking about
Really fuck with some.
literally being a god or whatever, you can just summon an angel and be like, oh, that actually, I think summon celestial might be 6 or something. But
Yeah, I'm trying to find one for your summon celestial thing.
We're reading the spells as we go
Well, I
because
mean-
we're terrible and didn't.
well, I did.
Yeah, you looked it up. I forgot
I really
to
did. I just thought of it.
Well, I
I
know
looked
mine
at it-
too now.
Okay, we'll go for it.
Well, it's animate objects
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
also your
because
favorite.
it's
spell.
my favorite spell.
Yeah,
makes sense.
that was a pretty good time of you riding the chairs.
And
And the
then
desk.
awaken
The desk.
because I get tired of my cat yelling at me and I don't know what it wants. I don't know what it wants.
What
It's
do
like
you
walks in the
want?
room, yells at me. It's like, "What? You're furry. I get it."
You don't
Yeah.
want to speak with animals, so it can
That-
tell you
No,
that it
awaken.
hates
I
you.
want, I,
You want it to be intelligent.
I want it to be intelligent.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Speak of animals means it's as dumb as a cat is.
And then awaken, you could be like, like you get attacked by a bear or it's running at you. Awaken it, and it's like, stop. And it's like, oh, why? It's like, I'll get you some McDonald's. And it's like, okay,
What's McDonald's?
we'll find out together. And you hold its hand and you go to the
We'll
nearest
find
McDonald's.
out together. I like
There's
that.
a lot of good stuff like scrying. If you wanted to be like
trying to
the
find something.
spy master,
Divination.
divinate, like any of those spells.
Learn the future.
Yeah.
Vitriolic sphere. You just throw it at people.
Water wall,
Doesn't actually
tidal
kill
wave, firewall, fireball.
I think I would take suggestion as my second one,
Ooh, that's pretty good.
them. That's pretty good.
mainly to try and stop Jarrett's bullshit.
Also,
Nope. That's not how it works. You already said.
I did already say that but no, I'm talking about real world bullshit. I'm trying to suggest you to be more active.
If it's just us three that have it, somebody needs to take Dispel Magic because it's going to get weird.
Yeah, it'd be bad. I can already see it. Me as polymorph just outside somebody's fucking window.
What would you turn into?
Well, fucking what wouldn't I turn into? I'd be a goddamn blue whale sitting outside your window.
All right.
So now that the chaotic part of Chaotically Nerdy is finished up, we are going to wrap up this episode. It's down. This time it won't blow out your eardrums whenever I turn down the outro. So you can join our Discord. You can find links to our Facebook at anchor.fm/chaoticallynerdy. That is the link that we use for every episode to listen to anyway. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Anchor, obviously, Google Podcast. I think that's all of them. But we want to thank you for listening to another episode, and we hope to see you on the next one.